Welcome to another episode of Practical Nutrition. I'm Cassie.
I'm Alex.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Amanda.
And today we are talking about turmeric and curcumin. Are they worth the hype? And this was something that one of our clients actually requested. So thank you for the suggestion. It's going to be a very interesting topic today. And so we'll just get right into it. So what is turmeric? First of all, it's used as a spice and a natural food color that gives food yellow or orange colors. And so these days, a lot of people are trying to get away from the artificial colors. So you might see turmeric in the ingredient list if you're eating something that is yellow or orange. It's in the ginger family and has also been used medicinally all over the world, especially in traditional Chinese and Indian medicine for thousands of years due to its antioxidant, anti-cancer, anti-mutagenic, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial properties. Turmeric is also used all over the world in curries, teas, cosmetics, mustard, cheese, supplements, and many other foods.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And so Alex is going to talk about what is so special about turmeric.
What is so special? It is an excellent source of a polyphenol called curcumin, which is responsible for turmeric's antioxidant properties and its color. So it's that bright yellow color that Cassie was talking about. This is a great example of why it is important to get lots of colors from fruits, veggies, and spices so you can get a variety of antioxidants, since they are often responsible for the colors of the foods. So sometimes I feel like I forget about spices as being high in antioxidants. You think of lots of fruits and veggies, but spices too are high in antioxidants and very important. Turmeric has garnered lots of interest. Federal funds to study curcumin have exceeded over $150 million, and there are over 15,000 published research articles among curcumin. Sales of curcumin supplements in 2018 were over $50 million.
Ooh,
that's a lot.
Yes,
yes it is.
So that is a lot. We're in the wrong business. So.
I know. What are we doing?
So Sarah, talk about why it's so popular. We see it's very popular, but why is it so popular?
Yeah, so curcumin comes from a plant, so it does have antioxidant properties, and that's kind of the word that's been associated with it. Antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, all those antis that we just mentioned at the beginning of it. And so it gives it potential to help improve human diseases which are influenced by inflammation, including cancer, heart disease, autoimmune disease, mental health, and many others. Research has definitely shown connections between inflammation and a lot of these diseases. So that's why these foods or spices or things that have anti-inflammatory properties have been associated with maybe this will be good for you if you have these chronic diseases. However, in research, it hasn't really shown definitive benefit in people, which seems to be the trend with a lot of these things. So keep that in mind too. And many studies are in vitro, which just means they're in a lab setting, and they're showing mechanisms of antioxidant capabilities, which are promising, but that doesn't always translate to actual health benefits in humans.
Yes, so good point. And that doesn't mean none of the research have shown benefits, but there just isn't enough out there that shows that those translate. So thank you. And Amanda is going to talk about some other things about why it's so popular.
Yes. So in vivo studies, which is the opposite of in vitro, which Sarah just said, so in vivo meaning in the human body, shows decreases in inflammatory markers or other symptoms or causes associated with the disease. But there is no direct evidence that curcumin can effectively treat or cure any diseases. Studies have shown the following antioxidant benefits for curcumin. So, free radical scavenger, meaning it goes through your body and clears out free radicals. It enhances enzymes that neutralize free radicals and inhibits enzymes that create free radicals. So free radicals in the presence of curcumin are in danger.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It also downregulates tumor necrosis factor, which is an important mediator in inflammation. It decreases cytokines, which are a marker of inflammation, and it also decreases C-reactive protein, or CRP, which is a marker of inflammation.
Yeah, so it does lots of good stuff. And again, just to remind you, we may have talked about this in earlier podcasts, but free radicals are negative. So, and curcumin is shown to help decrease those and enhance your body's ability to fight those off. Those are things that can cause that inflammation and cause that damage that is related to a lot of the diseases. So So now we're going to go over some of the research related to specific health concerns. Many of these studies are small, but do show promise. And again, we already have these things that we know curcumin does. But what we want to know is, does that translate into any benefits in the body? There are lots of health concerns that are studied with curcumin. We're not going to go over all of them today. We're going to pick out some of the most popular ones, but if you have something that we don't go over today, then you can just ask us and we will let you know what research we find for that particular issue that maybe we didn't go over today. The first one we're going to talk about is arthritis. There was a meta-analysis of several small peer-reviewed studies that showed that a dose of 1,000 milligrams of curcumin a day for 8 to 12 weeks can be effective at reducing pain and inflammation with arthritis, especially with osteoarthritis. And it was similar to the effects of ibuprofen. So that was really cool. And so that's something that it was shown to be helpful with. And in another randomized double-blind placebo-controlled study, and that's the gold standard, of 40 people with moderate osteoarthritis, a daily dose of 500 milligrams of curcumin with pepperine, which we're going to talk about in a second, for 6 weeks, showed significant improvements in pain and physical function and a decrease in oxidative stress. No improvement in joint stiffness was seen in this study, but they did have a lot of those other improvements. So the bottom line for arthritis is that curcumin is shown to be helpful in studies in some people, especially for osteoarthritis. So that's an interesting thing. If you have those issues, it may be something that you want to try that might help with your pain and some of your joint issues. So Alex is going to talk about the next one.
Yes, we have cardiovascular health. So there are mixed results with curcumin decreasing cholesterol and triglycerides, but several studies have shown that 1,000 milligrams a day of curcumin can significantly decrease triglycerides. So that's very interesting. Several small clinical trials have shown that curcumin can significantly decrease systolic blood pressure, which is the pressure coming out of your heart. Bottom line, if you have high cholesterol, high triglycerides, or high blood pressure, and have already made healthy lifestyle changes, so you're eating healthy, you're working out, you're doing all the right things, getting a lot of sleep, then turmeric is worth a try. You can always stop if you don't see a benefit in your numbers. So it's something where if you've done all the things, if you want to add it in, you might see some benefit, but if not, then that's okay too if you want to keep on the path of just trying exercise and all those things. So.
Yes. So Sarah, what's next?
Yeah, so next is diabetes. In several small studies on healthy people, curcumin supplements showed decreases in blood sugar response after eating, which is a good thing. It didn't spike as high. And some studies showed improvements in hemoglobin A1C. Remember, that's your 3-month average of your blood sugar in diabetics, but others did not. So there are mixed results, which tells us, yes, we do probably need some more research in this area before we start recommending that everyone with diabetes or prediabetes start adding turmeric to your daily routine. And so the bottom line is, if you have prediabetes, a family history of type 2 diabetes, or you have type 2 diabetes and you have made, again, all of the healthy lifestyle changes that we would recommend, eating well, exercising, all of those things, to manage your risk, you can try adding turmeric and see if it helps your blood sugar control. And then additionally with that, because people with diabetes are often on medication that already has an effect on your blood sugar, be sure to monitor your blood sugar more closely if you are on medication, because you may need to adjust it. We don't want your blood sugar to drop too low.
Yeah, that can be dangerous.
Very dangerous.
So Amanda, what's next?
So next is cancer. So while in the lab, curcumin is shown to be effective for decreasing cancer growth and decreasing inflammation, as we talked about, but the results are not as clear in human studies. So many of the studies use very high doses of curcumin, looking at 4 to 8 grams per day, and are very small samples of people. So in looking at these studies, there was promise in decreasing markers of cancer progression and promoting remission. However, in many of the studies, but not all of them, there was no improvement in clinical outcomes with curcumin supplementation. So if you have cancer, please do not rely on turmeric or curcumin to treat your cancer. If you're getting all of the medical help you can get, adding turmeric as suggested doses is seemingly safe and may help decrease markers of cancer.
Yes, so that's good. And next we'll talk about depression. In a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study of 56 people with major depressive disorder, 1,000 milligrams as they took it at 500 milligrams twice a day for 8 weeks, showed significant improvements in anxiety and depressive symptoms after 4 weeks of treatment. And another well-done study on 126 people, so a few more people replicated these results, which is good. You know, we always want to see that studies are able to be replicated. And it showed that a lower dose, which is 250 milligrams twice a day, so that's 500 milligrams a day, was just as effective as the higher dose and showed significant improvements after 4 weeks of treatment again. So the bottom line is, if you suffer from depression or anxiety, continue taking your medications and getting help from professionals. And you could try adding turmeric to see if you feel an improvement. But again, it takes about 4 weeks to see those improvements, sometimes up to 8 weeks. But you could try that as part of your routine. And what's next, Alex?
We've got weight loss for everybody listening. In a review of 11 studies in almost 1,000 people, which was mostly women, it showed 1,000 milligrams curcumin to significantly decrease body weight by 2.5 pounds. Interesting.
Which it doesn't seem like that much, but it is. That was a significant change.
That is significant.
Yeah,
It's considered significant. So that's, very cool. In this same review, waist circumference was also lower by 1 to 1.5 inches in overweight women who took 1,000 milligrams of curcumin for 8 weeks. So bottom line, if you are overweight, adding turmeric may modestly decrease your weight and waist circumference. However, eating well and exercise has a much more significant impact on weight and waist circumference. So we'd recommend doing all those other things first and then adding turmeric to see if there's a difference, not just sitting at home doing nothing and eating turmeric.
So lastly is viruses. So this is probably a hot topic with COVID right now too. And just know there's no clinical research studies that show turmeric can prevent or treat viruses like the flu or COVID, but there is more research being done on that. So potentially stay tuned. And bottom line is, don't rely on turmeric to decrease your risk of viruses.
Yes, good advice. Still do all the other things. Yes. Okay, so are there any drawbacks to using turmeric or curcumin? Amanda can start us off with that, and we'll just go, well, these are all drawbacks, and so we'll just go through all of us listing a few of them. Go ahead.
Cool. So some research shows that there is potential liver toxicity with high doses of curcumin. So if you plan to take curcumin, follow a doctor or dietitian's dosage advice. And supplements are not controlled or standardized, so you don't know what you're getting unless you use one that's third-party tested.
And it's not a magic pill, as we talked about. Some people may not make other healthy lifestyle changes to prevent cancer, heart disease, inflammation, etc., if they think that all they need to do is take this pill and it's going to help them. So we always recommend that you start with healthy eating, exercise, managing stress, all the things that we know are helpful. And then this would just be, a little icing on the top of what you're doing to help possibly with having further benefits. And also, it costs money, so that's something that people need to consider. And it's about $60 a month if you're going to do the 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams a day. If you take more than that, then it would cost more than that. So just so everyone knows, it's a little bit of an investment.
Yeah, and research on its benefits is mixed, many from small study samples and without standardized curcumin sources. There are few human cases and animal studies showing even regular doses of curcumin can be associated with liver toxicity. So things like elevated liver enzymes, jaundice, where you literally turn yellow, fatigue, joint pain, and these symptoms actually resolved after discontinuing the supplement. So something to think about.
Yeah, and then additionally, it's high in what's called oxalates. So those are naturally occurring in some plant foods. And some people who have kidney stones or have a history of kidney stones, eating foods high in oxalates can increase your risk of developing that. And then additionally, if you have gout, sometimes we recommend staying away from foods high in oxalates. And then they can also decrease iron absorption. So if you're someone who's concerned about that, we obviously wouldn't want to add something else that would decrease the amount of iron that your body was able to absorb. And then it can also stimulate your gallbladder. So if you have issues with your gallbladder, taking this may worsen it.
Also avoid using it with blood thinners because it has antiplatelet activity, so it would go against what your blood thinner is trying to do. It may interfere with blood sugar lowering medications, and it may decrease or increase your medication's action, so check with your doctor or dietitian before using it.
Yes, and really, a lot of these supplements and herbs do things in your body. That's why they work. And so sometimes people don't think about what they're putting in their body, though, and making sure that you understand that it does have potential interactions with a lot of different medications and making them work more effectively or less effectively, so depending on what it is. So really, the bottom line is that there is some promise for beneficial effects of curcumin, but there are no long-term, well-done, large studies showing that it's effective at treating, preventing, or curing any diseases. There are also no long-term studies on the safety with the enhanced absorption curcumin, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But so taking regular curcumin is not associated with health benefits due to its low absorption rate. And so they've done a lot of things to try to create curcumin that is more stable and your body can absorb more effectively. And so that's enhanced bioavailability curcumin. And so there's a specific product that's trademarked called BCM95, and you can actually search for that whenever you're looking at it. And again, they can't put that on there unless it has it in there. But again, supplement companies can sometimes be kind of sketchy. But that is a combination of curcumin and turmeric oils that enhances absorption, and several 100% higher than just regular curcumin alone. You can also add an agent like the pepperine from the black pepper. So it's an active ingredient in black pepper that's shown to increase the absorption. So you want to look for a supplement that has that in it if you're going to take a supplement. Also, eating your turmeric, so say you're using fresh turmeric or you're taking your supplement, having that with a meal that has fat in it can enhance absorption as well, or even putting pepper on your food, that can enhance the absorption of whatever turmeric you're using.
And then 1 teaspoon ground turmeric has an average of 20 to 40 milligrams of curcumin in it. Supplements usually have more and may have additional ingredients or chemical structure to enhance absorption. Just remember that supplements aren't regulated by the FDA, so something again to think about there. Turmeric has a short half-life, so dividing the dose in at least 2 doses a day is recommended if you are going to take it. If you take curcumin in a supplement form, be sure that you monitor your liver enzymes as well, because we talked about that earlier. Just make sure if you see any major changes to discontinue it, and talk to your doctor or dietitian and see what's going on with that.
Yeah, and there was a small study comparing curcumin powder, turmeric powder, and fresh grated turmeric root. And while the bioavailability of the curcumin was lowest in the food sources, the blood levels of curcumin after ingesting the foods were significantly higher than the standardized curcumin powder with higher bioavailability. And this may be due to the synergistic effects of compounds in the food to help with absorption. And that is a big reason why food over supplements, because you don't get all of those other things in supplements per se naturally occurring with the foods that you're eating with whatever it is that you're trying to increase your absorption of. And you can get fresh turmeric from the farmer's market. Millsap Farm has some here in the Ozarks and Mama Jean's, and you can grate it on top of any dish or in a smoothie with fat added, or add it to soup, stews, or stir fry. Lots of things you can add it onto.
Yes, and I love that. And it's something just to be aware of, because a lot of times people think, with what Alex said, the 20 to 40 milligrams of curcumin in a teaspoon, which is quite a lot of turmeric. Mm-hmm. So you think, oh, that's not very much, but there is some preliminary research that shows that you may actually absorb a lot more effectively, and your blood levels may be higher. So don't be scared just to add some more into your diet. And how can we add fat to smoothies? Anyone have any ideas?
Peanut butter.
Yeah,
do
flaxseed, chia seed, olive oil, avocado. Just throwing that out there in case anyone's like, how do I add fat to my smoothie with fruit in it? There are lots of ways. So Amanda, you can finish this off.
Okay. So doses up to 8,000 milligrams per day are generally shown to be safe, but may elicit side effects such as headache, stomachache, diarrhea, or rash. So discontinue or decrease your dose if you have side effects. Also, make sure that you are not using this as a magic pill, like we've kept repeating. Eating healthy food every day and exercising has definitive benefits and will get you much further than just adding a supplement to an unhealthy lifestyle. Take a supplement that is third-party tested if you choose a supplement.
Yes, and these are all things that we always help answer for our clients. So I just had someone yesterday that was just started taking one, and they weren't sure about the brand. So little things that we can check those kinds of things for clients. And if you have any questions about those kinds of things, you can come in for a free consult, and we're happy to answer those. You can also message us, and if there are any other, like I said, physical things that you want to learn more about, and if curcumin can help or turmeric can help that we didn't go over today, we're happy to look into that in the future. So I learned some things. I do think that it's one of those tools that we could recommend and you could try, but again, don't fall for it's a magic pill. All you have to do is take this and you'll be fine. You still have to put the hard work in, but it might enhance that hard work and the results that you have. So thank you very much, and keep sending us suggestions. This was a great one.
Yes.
And if you have any suggestions for us about something you want to learn more about, we have lots of ideas, but we love your ideas as well. So thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.